Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. Today I'm going to recap round of 32 games from the NCAA Women's Tournament. We'll recap yesterday's CBI games, look ahead to tonight's CBI semifinals. The NIT quarterfinals begins tonight. And then we'll do NBA and NHL, MLB spring training, Mlb Catcher Rankings. We're going to start the rankings of the positions now that the season's heading our way. News and notes and best bet. We're going to start with the women's tournament, round of 32. We'll recap the games. As we have a couple-day break ahead before the Sweet 16. Bridgeport Region 1 seed NC State over 9 seed Kansas State 89-57. Wichita Region 3 seed Michigan over 11 seed Villanova 64-49. Bridgeport Region 5 seed Notre Dame over 4 seed Oklahoma 108-64. That was a stunner. Wichita Region 4 seed Tennessee over 12 seed Belmont 70-67. Spokane Region 6 seed Ohio State over 3 seed LSU 79-64. Bridgeport Region 3 seed Indiana over 11 seed Princeton 56-55. That was a fantastic finish. And Grace Berger hit the big shot in this game. Bridgeport Region 2 seed UConn over the 7 seed UCF 52-47. UCF, to be fair, really hung around this game. This game was closer than a 5-point game. And Greensboro Region 5 seed North Carolina over 4 seed Arizona 63-45. So Sweet 16 begins Friday. And then into Saturday, and then the Elite Eight is Sunday and Monday. And then the Final Four is Friday the 1st, and the championship game is Sunday the 3rd. So it should be a fun few days in women's college basketball coming up. All right, CBI time. We'll recap the results from yesterday, and we will look ahead to the quarterfinal games being played tonight. Or semifinal, I mean. UNC Wilmington over Drake 76-75. Northern Colorado over UNC Asheville 87-84. Middle Tennessee over Boston University 76-46. And Abilene Christian over Ohio 91-86. 2 games today, 7 o'clock ESPN 2. You have UNC Wilmington and Northern Colorado. My projection for this game is Northern Colorado by 1.5, total of 147 and 9/20. And it is Wilmington 2.5, total 154. So tough one, but I'm going to go with the under to play safe. And at 9:30 on ESPN 2, 6 seed Abilene Christian and 2 seed Middle Tennessee. By the way, Northern Colorado's your 12 and Wilmington's your 9. The seeding with who advances and such gets a little wacky here. So the last of the semifinal games, I project Abilene Christian is a 7-point favorite, total of 141 and 9/20, and it's Middle by 2.5, total 140.5. Give me Abilene Christian plus 2.5 and plus 118. To win this game outright. So it should be a couple of good games here. All right, now we'll move on to the NIT. The quarterfinals begins tonight. You have 2 games. This is the last round of the campus sites, and then they go on the MSG on, I want to say Saturday, and then Monday's the final. But I could be wrong. So first up, 5 seed St. Bonaventure and 6 seed Virginia. My projections: Virginia by 1, total 129 and 9/10. And it's 3.5 and 124.5. We'll go with the over there. And I like St. Bonaventure getting those points too. And then 9 o'clock ESPN tonight, you have Vanderbilt and Xavier, your 4-2. My projection, Xavier by 13.5, total 140 and 9/10. It's 3.5 and 142.5. Give me Xavier minus the 3.5. I just think they're way better than Vanderbilt. They're going to be motivated trying to play hard for Sean Miller. So I'm going to lay the points with Xavier here. All right, now we'll recap the games in the NBA from last night and look ahead to a smaller window for tonight. And I mean it's much smaller compared to last night. Hornets over to Pelicans 106-103. Lakers over to Cavaliers 131-120. Trailblazers over to Pistons 119-115. 76ers over to Heat 113-106. Nets over to Jazz 114-106. Bulls over to Raptors 113-99. Rockets over to Wizards 115-97. Celtics over to Thunder 132-123. Mavs over to Timberwolves 110-108. And now we look ahead to the 4 games tonight. 7 o'clock you have the Warriors and the Magic. My projection for this game is Warriors by 5.25, total 223.5. And the line is 7.5, totals 216. I still like the over. I do like Orlando and the over in the same game, but I think that despite no Stephen Curry, I think Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, and Draymond even could step up in Steph's absence here. 7:30 TNT Hawks Knicks from the Garden. Trae Young's first game back at the Garden since the playoff series win a year ago. My projections: Knicks by a half, total 216 and 7/10, and it's Atlanta by 1.5, total 226.5. I love the under. I think it's to be a lower scoring game than people will expect. The Knicks are playing good defense lately. So give me the under 226.5, and plus no John Collins either. 8 o'clock Bulls Bucks. My projection is Milwaukee by 1.5, total 237 and 720. It's at 6.5 and 231.5. Ooh, this is a good one. Bulls and the over is a good same game parlay thing. If I had to pick one, it's the over. Understand no Chris Middleton, but I still think that Drew Holiday and others can step up in his absence, and obviously you have Giannis, and then you have a bunch of guys on the Bulls despite no Lonzo still. Patrick Williams back, by the way, for Chicago. But I'm going to go over 231.5 for my pick here. And last but not least, 10 o'clock TNT, the Clippers and the Nuggets. My projection is Denver by a whopping 11.25, total 224 and 7/20. And it's 6 and 221. I'm going to lay the 6 with Denver. Still no Paul George for the Clippers. I know Porter Jr. saw for Denver, but I think Jokic wants to win the MVP, so I think that he's going to really put it together, and they're going to potentially blow out the Clippers here. So I'm going to lay the 6 with Denver against the Clippers. All right, now we'll move on to the NHL. We'll recap the games from last night and look ahead to what should be a busy window for tonight. Bruins over the Canadiens 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Brad Marchand. Wild over the Golden Knights 3-0. Avs over the Oilers 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Nathan McKinnon. And the Predators over the Ducks 6-3. Big window tonight, 7 o'clock. You have the Rangers and the Devils from the Prudential Center. Rangers minus 156, Devils plus 130, over under 6, overs minus 118, others minus 104. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 168, Devils plus 1.5 is minus 210. Tough one. Devils have been an over team a lot of late, but I think the safe play here is the Rangers in regulation at even money. Blue Jackets Penguins. Pittsburgh minus 365. Columbus plus 285, over under 6.5, overs even money, unders minus 122. Columbus plus 2.5 is minus 142. Pittsburgh minus 2.5 is plus 116. I'm going over 6.5 even money. I think that this could be a higher scoring game than some expect. And I think that Pittsburgh, I think, can go on to more of a push here to try to win the division. Blues Capitals. Caps minus 142. Blues plus 118. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Blues plus 1.5 is minus 225. Caps minus 1.5 is plus 180. The Capitals are playing a lot better of late. Kind of making the Metro interesting. They're 5 back of the Rangers and Pittsburgh and 8 back of Carolina. But I'm still going to go over 6.5 at even money. Lightning Hurricanes. Canes minus 120. Lightning even money. Over under 6. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Lightning plus 1.5 is minus 280. Carolina minus 1.5 is plus 220. I'm going Lightning even money to win the game outright. Lightning and over is a good same game. 7:30 the Flyers and the Red Wings. Detroit minus 144. Flyers plus 120. Over under 6. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 230. Red Wings minus 1.5 is plus 184. I'm going to go over 6. Even though they just traded Claude Giroux, I still think the Flyers could be an over team here. Sens Isles. Isles minus 260. Sens plus 210. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Ottawa plus 1.5 is minus 130. Islanders minus 1.5 is plus 106. I'm going Islanders puck line. I just think Ottawa stinks. So I'm going to say Isles puck line. 8 o'clock, the Golden Knights and the Jets. Jets minus 152. Golden Knights plus 126. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Vegas plus 1.5 is minus 215. Jets minus 1.5 is plus 172. I know the Golden Knights are on the second of a back-to-back. But I'm going to say they win this game outright at plus 126. They need that game. Oilers, Stars, 8:30. Stars minus 144. Edmonton plus 120. Over under 6.5. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Oilers plus 1.5 is minus 220. Stars minus 1.5 is plus 176. Same deal. I'm going Edmonton. They need to win this game. Vancouver is still lurking. So I'm going to say Edmonton plus 120. 9 o'clock, Sharks, Flames. Flames minus 310. Sharks plus 245. Over under 6 minus 110 each way. Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 106. Flames minus 1.5 is minus 114. I'm going to go over 6 minus 110. 10 o'clock, Coyotes hosting the Kraken. Arizona minus 115. Kraken minus 102. Over under 6. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Seattle plus 1.5 is minus 290. Arizona minus 1.5 is plus 225. This is a perfect place to bet the draw at plus 320. I just think that these two teams are awful, and I absolutely love the draw. 10:30 Predators, Kings. Kings minus 126. Preds plus 105. Over under 6 minus 110 each way. Preds plus 1.5 is minus 265. Kings minus 1.5 is plus 210. Tough one. But the Preds are also in that group of teams that need to win games, as well as the Kings. So this is tough. But I'm going to go with the Predators to win outright at plus 105 in LA. Right now, let's move on to Major League Baseball spring training. We'll recap the results from yesterday and look ahead to today's matchups. Orioles over the Twins 10-8. Red Sox over the Braves 5-zip. Blue Jays over the Tigers 3-1. Marlins over the Mets 3-zip. Yanks over the Phils 5-2. Pirates over the Rays 5-1. Cubs over Reds 3-2. White Sox over the Dodgers 8-6. Rangers over the Guardians 25-12. What's that? An early Mavericks and Cavaliers score, or a Cowboys-Browns final? What the heck? D-backs over the Mariners 9-1. Royals over the Angels 8-5. Rocks over the Pods 8-4. Cards over the Nats 7-3. And the Brewers over the Giants 13-6. We're gonna do some betting in MLB spring training today because why not? But I don't see every game on here. Oh, okay, never mind. 1 o'clock, Tigers, Phillies. Phils minus 146. Detroit plus 124. It doesn't say who's going to be the starting pitchers for this game. So I guess I would take the Tigers if I wanted to. So we're not going to do gambling because we don't see who's pitching for these teams. The rest of the 1 o'clocks: Braves, Twins, Orioles, Pirates, Marlins, Cardinals, Red Sox, Rays, Yankees, Blue Jays. 4 o'clock: Padres, Guardians, Reds, Dodgers, Rangers, D-backs, Rocks, Angels, White Sox, Brewers, Cubs, Mariners. 6 o'clock: A's, Royals, and Astros, Mets. Alrighty. MLB Catcher Rankings. I love doing the player positions rankings every year on the show. And the first of the positions, as it is every year, is the catchers. Tomorrow we're going to do first base. Second base will be Thursday. Third base will be Friday. Shortstop will be next Monday. Left field will be next Tuesday, so a week from today. Center field's going to be next Wednesday. Next Thursday is going to be right field. And then in a week and a half from now, we'll do DH. And then starters will be Monday, April 4th. Relievers will be on the 5th. And then we're going to do the top 100 players on the 6th. And then the big preview and predictions show, I think I'll do that one on the 5th as well. So, fun times coming up ahead for the Mass Miller podcast with baseball back in the fold. So the catcher rankings, 2022 preseason. Number 30, Kirk Casale, Giants. 29, Robinson Chirinos, Orioles. 28, Austin Hedges, Indians. 27, Austin Nola, Padres. 26, Tom Murphy, Mariners. 25, Tucker Barnhart, Tigers. 24, Kyle Higashioka, Yankees. 23, Max Stassi, Angels. 22, Elias Diaz, Rockies. 21, Martin Maldonado, Astros. 20, Travis d'Arnaud, Braves. 19, Carson Kelly, D-backs. 18, Sean Murphy, Athletics. 17, Jacob Stallings, Marlins. 16, Tyler Stevenson, Reds. 15, Robert Perez, Pirates. 14, Omar Narvaez, Brewers. 13, James McCann, Mets. 12, Christian Vasquez, Red Sox. 11, Mike Zunino, Reds. 10, Gary Sanchez, Twins. 9, Danny Jansen, Blue Jays. 8, Keibert Ruiz, Nationals. 7, Mitch Garver, Rangers. 6, Yadier Molina, Cardinals. 5, Wilson Contreras, Cubs. 4, Yasmani Grandal, White Sox. 3, Will Smith, Dodgers. 2, JT Realmuto, Phillies. And number 1, Salvador Perez, Kansas City Royals. He was easily the best catcher in baseball a year ago, so he takes the spot coming into the season over JT Realmuto as the top catcher in the game. It doesn't matter that Perez is playing in Kansas City, but he just mashes and hits wherever he is. He's a great two-way player, and last year was, I think, the best season of his career. He'll still be good, but I don't think he's going to be as good as last year. Realmuto, I think, will be a little bit better than last year, in a better lineup. Will Smith, I still think, has improvements to be made on defense, but he's a tremendous offensive catcher. Yasmani Grandal, I think, will be better for the White Sox than he was last year. Wilson Contreras, I think, has a lot of potential, and it is somebody that I could see being traded at the deadline if the Cubs continue to falter and rebuild. Yadier Molina, I think this is going to be his last season, but he's still a solid catcher because of the lack of talent at this position. He's in the top 6. I think Mitch Garver's going to benefit from a change of scenery going to Texas. Keibert Ruiz, I think his pedigree will live up to potential with Washington after the trade from the Dodgers last year. Danny Jansen, really showing signs of breaking out with the Blue Jays, and I think that he'll benefit from being in a deeper lineup. And Gary Sanchez rounding out the top 10. I think a change of scenery could help him from a batting average standpoint. Being out of New York and getting booed every day, I think will help Sanchez. So I have him sneaking in there in the 10th spot. But I just think the one flaw of Gary Sanchez's game, and I think it's the main reason why the Yankees traded him, was his defense. Because I still think he has offensive potential, and I think with the move to Minnesota, I think that he can have an offensive batting average sort of resurgence with the Twins here. All right, so there you have it for the catcher rankings. Now I'll move on to news and notes for today. There's a few things I want to touch on. The newest news to come down: Bucks re-signing Leonard Fournette, 3 years, $21 million. After visiting with the Patriots, ironically of all teams, on Monday. So the Bucks bringing back the band back together. I think Gronk's next. There's a reason why Godwin held out and he wanted to wait for Tom. And Tom's back, and now Fournette's back, and I think they're going to get Gronk back too, and I think potentially Jason Pierre-Paul on the opposite side of the ball, so we'll see. Jameis Winston could return to camp if his rehab continues to go smoothly. So that's good for New Orleans. I think his injury cost them a playoff spot. If he didn't get hurt, I think they would have made it instead of Philadelphia. Dak Prescott's shoulder feels great, as he says he's recovering well from surgery on his non-throwing shoulder. He says he can do everything with it. So there is a trade that I think is going to fall through. Evgeny Dadonov, Vegas was about to send him off to Anaheim for Ryan Kessler's contract and the John Moore contract, so Vegas could clear some cap room. But Dadonov reportedly submitted his 10-team no-trade list, and the Ducks were a part of it. And you can't trade a player to a team that's on a no-trade list. So, I think Dadonov's going to remain in Vegas. Isaiah Thomas to finish the year with the Hornets. So that's good, as he's helped them in some games this year. Blazers eyeing Jeremy Grant, as they're going to seriously pursue him this offseason with the assets they got back for CJ McCollum. The Miami Heat are a legitimate suitor for Bradley Beal if he decides to leave the Wizards. So that would make some sense. Beal, Butler, and Bam. That's an awesome big three. Falcons signed Marcus Mariota to a 2-year deal. As they trade Matt Ryan to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2022 third-round draft pick. I think that is a steal for Indy. Matt Ryan to me is worth a second, maybe even 2 seconds. A third? That's crazy. Matt Ryan's not that bad. He's much better than Carson Wentz, you would think. And he's more of an adult than Carson Wentz. So that happened, and then they signed Marcus Mariota to replace Matt Ryan. And now the Falcons are potentially a team that could draft a quarterback high in the first round. And then Jameis Winston back to the Saints, 2 years, $28 million. That's the contract. And the funny thing is that Darius Leonard is already recruiting Julio Jones to try to help out Matt Ryan. So that That'd be funny. That reunion there would be fun. The Browns want a first back for Baker Mayfield as they're looking for high compensation for Mayfield after trading for Deshaun Watson. Giants signed Matt Breida, the former Bills and 49ers running back, for some depth behind Saquon Barkley. Urban Meyer didn't know who Aaron Donald was, which is absolutely stupid. As he was unaware of the NFL's top players. As he goes, who's this 99 guy on the Rams? That's embarrassing. There's a reason why Urban Meyer doesn't have a job right now. Although, let's be real, an off-field incident is why Urban Meyer doesn't have a job right now. Alabama's waiting on Arch Manning as Nick Saban won't take a commitment from any quarterback in the 2023 class until Manning makes his decision, which is smart. This is the most highly anticipated college football recruit we've had in some time. Jamal Crawford retires after 20 seasons with 9 teams. Really good sixth man, probably the best sixth man we've had in the history of the league, perhaps. He's awesome, and now the question is, does he get into the Hall of Fame? Rocky signed Ryan McMahon to a 6-year, $70 million contract extension, so good for him. Something funny, Blake Coleman calls out a Photoshop as the Lightning tweeted a new forward, Nick Paul, in his new uniform, but the last Lightning player to wear number 20 was Coleman and wasn't buying it. Fun fact about the Seattle Kraken, 33 draft picks over the next 3 years and no more picks than current players, which is crazy. They're like the Oklahoma City Thunder of the NHL. And the irony is that the Thunder came from Seattle. Here's something wild. Toronto's Kyle Dubas wasn't pleased with Chicago's Kyle Davidson and the leak of a possible Fleury trade. Yikes. Damian Lillard not returning this season, but is making tremendous progress. But Portland won't rush him back after his abdominal surgery. I think that one's inevitable. They're tanking. Lonzo Ball suffers rehab setback as he hasn't responded well to the ramp-up period and will not return for 10 days. Domantas Sabonis has a bruised left knee, and his return is TBD. And more on the trade that didn't happen, as Darren Drager says that the NHLPA is in contact with the league and further investigation in the Dadonov trade. And he says that he doesn't believe the timing of the filing is the issue. The problem is that Ottawa didn't disclose it on the trade call when Dadonov was moved to Vegas. And the NHL Central Registry is reviewing it, and it was reported last night, and it's in touch with the NHLPA, and it remains a developing story. So we'll see how this all plays out in the end. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Got some interesting ones to potentially do today. We have NIT, CBI, and NBA. Last night's best bet was a loser. I had the over in the Minnesota-Dallas game. That did not come in through fruition. So, actually looking at hockey for best bet, too. And one that I really, really like is over 6.5 in Columbus, Pittsburgh. I think that's a good one. I'm going to lay a unit on the over 6.5 between the Blue Jackets and the Penguins for best bet today. I kind of like the idea of that going over. I just think Pittsburgh's going to score a lot. And I think this has 4-3 Penguins written all over, or 5-3, 6-4, something like that. But I like that to go over. And I'm going to choose that for best bet today. All right, so that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from tonight, looking ahead to everything tomorrow. We have Survivor and Masked Singer tomorrow night. News and notes and best bet. And then I'm going to talk Idol on tomorrow's podcast as well. And then we have PGA to talk about as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.